The stars blinked against the darkness of space. Then, without warning, they bent. A patch of emptiness rippled like water, and from this distortion emerged a massive ship. 5 kilometers of gleaming metal pushed into normal space, its hull covered with weapon ports and sensor arrays. This was the Celestial Dominance, pride of the Galactic Hegemony's royal fleet. On the command deck, Prince Tay stood with his hands clasped behind his back. He was tall even for his species, with pale blue skin that seemed to glow under the soft lights. His ceremonial armor glittered with precious metals and gems from 100 conquered worlds. "Your Highness, we have arrived at the target system," said Admiral Han, bowing deeply. "Planet designation Sol 3, known to natives as Earth." Prince Tay nodded, his eyes fixed on the blue-green planet displayed on the massive view screen. "Another primitive world for my collection. How advanced are they?" Admiral Han gestured to a nearby console. "Pre-FTL civilization, Your Highness. They have basic space travel, limited to their own moon and some unmanned probes to nearby planets. Their weapons are chemical-based and nuclear. Nothing that can threaten this vessel." "Perfect." Prince Tay smiled, showing teeth too white and too sharp. "Position us above their largest population centers. Let them see us, let them fear us." The enormous warship moved with surprising grace for its size, sliding into Earth's orbit. Its shadow fell across Asia, then Europe, then the Americas as it circled the planet. "Standard conquest procedure?" asked Admiral Han. "Yes. Destroy something, small first, an uninhabited island should do, then broadcast our demands. If they resist, begin orbital bombardment of military targets." Prince Tay sat in his command chair, carved from rare woods of worlds that no longer existed. "I expect their surrender within 1 planetary rotation." "Very good, Your Highness." In a research facility beneath Sol, alarms blared. Red lights flashed in underground corridors as personnel rushed to their stations. Dr. G looked up from her computer screen, her eyes narrowing at the alert message. "It's happening," she said simply. Around her, the command center erupted into controlled chaos. Screens lit up, showing the massive alien vessel now in Earth's orbit. Junior officers spoke urgently into headsets, relaying information to military bases around the world. Dr. G was small in stature but carried an air of absolute authority. Her gray-streaked black hair was pulled back in a tight bun, and her lab coat bore the insignia of Earth Defense Initiative, an organization whose existence was known to fewer than 300 people worldwide. "Get me the coalition," she ordered. Within minutes, the main screen split into 12 sections, each showing the face of a different world leader or representative. The American president, the Russian premier, the Chinese chairman, and 9 others, all connected from secure bunkers in Montpellier, their respective countries. "The visitors have arrived earlier than we predicted," Dr. G said without preamble. "Our sensors indicate one vessel, approximately 5 kilometers in length. Weapons signatures match what we recovered from the scout ship." The American president leaned forward. "Are the defense systems ready?" "Yes," Dr. G replied, her calm voice at odds with the gravity of the situation. "Project Shield is fully operational. All satellites are in position and powered." "What about the special weapon?" asked the Indian Prime Minister. "My daughter is finalizing the calibrations now." Dr. G pressed a button on her console. "Yuna, status report." The screen showed a younger woman standing in a laboratory surrounded by equipment that glowed with blue light. Yuna shared her mother's intense focus but smiled more easily. "Quantum disruptor is at 94% functionality," she reported. "I need another 30 minutes to complete the final adjustments." "You might not have 30 minutes, Dr. G said. "Work faster." On the Celestial Dominance, Prince Tay watched Earth's continent scroll by beneath his ship. He frowned at the displays. "They seem surprisingly calm," he observed. "Usually by now, we detect panic in their communications, military mobilizations, perhaps even foolish attempts to attack us." Science Officer Sue, a slender man with cybernetic enhancements visible at his temples, looked up from his station. "Their global communication networks show awareness of our presence, Your Highness, but their response is Unusual. Their military forces are moving, but in a coordinated pattern that suggests preparation rather than panic. Perhaps they're more disciplined than most pre-FTL species, suggested Admiral Han, or simply in denial about what's happening. It doesn't matter, Prince Tay said dismissively. Their level of technology cannot possibly resist us. Prepare the demonstration. Shot. Target that island. He pointed to a small uninhabited island in the Pacific Ocean. Yes, Your Highness. The massive ship's primary weapon began to charge, drawing power from the ship's matter-antimatter core. A ball of energy formed at the front of the vessel, growing brighter until it hurt the eyes to look at it directly. In the underground facility, alarms changed their tone. They're charging weapons, reported Colonel Sung, the military liaison to the science team. He was a broad-shouldered man with a stern face that rarely showed emotion. Target appears to be Johnston Atoll, uninhabited as expected. Dr. G nodded. They're following the standard procedure we predicted, a demonstration shot to show their power, then demands for surrender. She pressed a button on her console. All stations, prepare for shield activation on my mark. Around the world, operators at hidden facilities acknowledged the order. On another screen, Yuna worked frantically, her fingers dancing across complex controls. Quantum disruptor at 98%, she reported. I need just a few more minutes. We'll handle the first attack with shield only, Dr. G decided. Coalition members, I suggest you address your nations. Tell them not to fear what they're about to see. On the Celestial Dominance, the weapon reached full charge. Demonstration shot ready, Your Highness, Admiral Han reported. Fire, Prince Tay ordered with a casual wave of his hand. The energy ball shot from the ship toward Earth, a streak of blinding light aimed at the small island. Prince Tay watched with satisfaction. He had seen this scene play out dozens of times before. Soon the primitives would witness their helplessness and bow to their new masters. But something unexpected happened. As the energy beam approached Earth's atmosphere, dozens of satellites, previously dismissed as primitive communication technology, suddenly activated. They projected a shimmering energy field that intercepted the beam. When the weapon's fire hit this barrier, it spread out like water hitting glass, dissipating harmlessly. Alarms blared on the command deck. What happened? Prince Tay demanded, rising from his chair. Science Officer Su stared at his readings in disbelief. They blocked our shot, Your Highness. With technology that should be impossible for their development level. Prince Tay's face darkened with rage. Impossible. Fire again. Full power. As the ship's weapons began to charge again, communication, Officer Mina turned from her station. Your Highness, we're receiving a transmission from Earth. Put it on screen, Prince Tay snarled. The view screen changed to show Dr. G's calm face looking directly at the camera as if she could see Prince Tay himself. Attention, Imperial vessel. This is Earth. We have no interest in conquest or conflict, but we will defend ourselves. Your demonstration has been noted. If you fire again, we will be forced to respond. We suggest you reconsider your approach. Prince Tay stared at the screen, his mouth open in shock. Then his expression hardened. Prepare all weapons, he ordered. Target their major cities. We will show these primitives what happens when they defy the galactic hegemony. Admiral Han bowed. As you command, Your Highness. In her underground command center, Dr. G watched the alien ship preparing for a full attack. She allowed herself a small smile. They never learn, she said softly. Then louder. Yuna, is the quantum disruptor ready? Yes, Mother. Full functionality achieved. Good. Dr. G looked at Colonel Sung. Prepare our ships for launch. It's time to show our visitors that humans are not to be underestimated. Around the world, hidden hangar doors began to open. Prince Tay paced the command deck of the Celestial Dominance, his boots making sharp sounds against the metal floor. His face was twisted with rage, and officers moved out of his way quickly. This is impossible, he said for the 5th time. Pre-FTL civilization cannot have shields capable of stopping our weapons. Science Officer Su bent over his console, scanning the Earth's satellites. The energy signatures are unlike anything in our database, Your Highness. They appear to be using quantum field technology, but with modifications we've never seen before. Could they have stolen this technology? Asked Admiral Han. Perhaps another empire made contact before us? Prince Tay stopped pacing. No imperial power would share such technology with primitives. Something else is happening here. He turned to Communications Officer Mina. Prepare a message to Earth. Tell them they have 1 hour to surrender, or we will unleash our full arsenal. Mina bowed her head, but her eyes showed doubt. She had seen many conquests, but never one where the targets had such advanced defenses. As she worked at her station, she wondered if this mission would end differently than the others. Deep beneath Seoul, Dr. G studied the scans of the alien warship with Colonel Sung and other military leaders. The massive view screen showed the celestial dominance in orbit, weapons ports glowing as they charged. Their main power core is here, Dr. G said, pointing to a bright spot on the scan. It appears to be a matter-antimatter reactor, just as we predicted from the scout ship's designs. Colonel Sung nodded. And their weapon systems? Multiple types. Energy weapons are their primary offense, but they also have missile systems here and here. She indicated different parts of the massive ship. One of the generals spoke up. How did we get so lucky? Their first shot hit exactly where our shield was strongest. Dr. G smiled slightly. Not luck. We've been studying their conquest patterns for decades. They always follow the same procedure. A demonstration shot at an uninhabited area, then demands, then attacks on population centers. They're predictable, Colonel Sung added. That's their weakness. A young officer approached Dr. G. Ma'am, we're receiving another transmission from the alien vessel. The message played on the main screen. Prince Tay's face appeared, his blue skin flushed darker, with anger. People of Earth, your resistance is futile. You have 1 hour to surrender your world to the galactic hegemony. If you refuse, we will destroy your major cities one by one. Your stolen technology cannot protect you forever. Dr. G turned to the coalition members on the other screens. They think we stole the technology. The Russian premier laughed. Let them keep thinking that. It gives us an advantage. Agreed, said Dr. G. Now we move to phase 2. She pressed a button on her console. Yuna, how is the quantum disruptor? The screen showed Yuna in what looked like a control room for a satellite. Ready, Mother. I've loaded it onto Platform 7. We can target their ship whenever you give the order. Good. Wait for my signal. Dr. G turned to Colonel Sung. Are your pilots ready? Colonel Sung stood straighter. Yes, Doctor. The squadrons are in their ships waiting in the underground hangars. They're ready to launch on your command. Dr. G nodded and addressed the coalition. The enemy has given us 1 hour. I suggest we use that time to position our forces. When they attack again, and they will, we'll be ready to show them Earth's true strength. In the Celestial Dominance's private quarters, Prince Tay consulted with Admiral Han away from the other officers. There's something wrong about this planet, the prince said. Something we're missing. Admiral Han nodded. I've reviewed our intelligence again. There was nothing to suggest this level of technology. Our scouts reported a typical pre-FTL civilization. When was the last scout mission? 5 standard years ago. Prince Tay frowned. That's not enough time for them to develop this technology on their own. They must have had help. He slammed his fist on the table. Or our intelligence was flawed from the beginning. What are your orders, Your Highness? Prince Tay walked to the viewport and looked down at Earth. We cannot retreat. The Emperor would see it as weakness. Prepare all weapons. When the hour is up, we will attack with everything we have. In a massive underground hangar beneath the Rocky Mountains, pilots climbed into sleek spacecraft unlike anything publicly known on Earth. These ships were smaller than traditional fighter jets, but packed with technology reverse-engineered from the crashed scout ship. Major Kim, squadron leader, settled into her cockpit and ran through pre-flight checks. Her ship hummed to life, holographic displays lighting up around her. This is Falcon Leader to all pilots, she said into her headset. Today we defend our home against those who would conquer us. Remember your training. These aliens may have bigger ships, but we have the element of surprise. Across the world, in similar hidden facilities, 5 more squadrons prepared for launch. 60 ships in total, each carrying weapons designed specifically to combat the Imperial technology. In her satellite control room, Yuna made final adjustments to the quantum disruptor. The device was her creation, a machine that could temporarily create a dead zone where certain quantum frequencies would fail, specifically the frequencies used by the Imperial shields. All systems are green, she reported to her mother. The targeting system is locked on their ship. Effective range is approximately 10,000 kilometers. Good work, Dr. G replied. Stand by. Yuna looked at the countdown timer. 45 minutes remained before the aliens' deadline expired. She doubted they would wait that long. On the celestial dominance, Prince Tay grew more impatient by the minute. They're using this time to prepare, he said. We're giving them an advantage by waiting. Admiral Han considered this. We could attack now, Your Highness. The element of surprise might overcome their defenses. Prince Tay nodded. Do it. Target their largest cities and fire all primary weapons. At once, Your Highness. The massive ship's weapons all began to charge at once, drawing enormous power from the central core. The hull glowed with gathered energy. Science Officer Su suddenly looked up from his console. Your Highness, I'm detecting unusual energy readings from the planet's surface. Multiple locations are showing power spikes. What kind of energy readings? Prince Tay demanded. Unknown, but they're massive, and there's something else. Su's voice trailed off as he stared at his readings. Speak, officer. Launch signatures, Your Highness. They're launching spacecraft. Prince Tay rushed to the view screen. From Earth's surface, small dots began to rise. Dozens of them moving, fast and heading directly for the Imperial warship. Communications Officer Mina received another transmission. Your Highness, message from Earth. Dr. G's face appeared on screen again. Imperial vessel, you have broken your own terms by preparing to attack before the deadline. We are now forced to defend ourselves. This is your final warning to withdraw from Earth orbit. Prince Tay laughed. They think their tiny ships can threaten us? Continue the attack. Destroy those craft if they come within range. But as the Earth ships drew closer, the Imperial sensors began to give alarming readings. Your Highness, said Science Officer Su, his voice shaking. Those ships, they're using Imperial engine designs, and their weapons. He looked up, his face pale. They're using our own technology against us. Prince Tay stared at the approaching Earth fleet, his confidence suddenly shaken. How is this possible? In her command center, Dr. G gave the order that had been prepared for decades. All units, commence Operation Homeworld. Yuna, activate the quantum disruptor. Above the Earth, humanity's first space battle was about to begin. The celestial dominance fired its main weapons. Beams of energy shot toward Earth's major cities. Prince Tay watched with satisfaction, expecting to see destruction below. Instead, the same shield network activated again. The energy weapons hit the barrier and spread harmlessly across it, lighting up Earth's atmosphere with brilliant colors. Impossible, Prince Tay shouted. Fire again! All secondary weapons! The Imperial warship unleashed everything it had. Hundreds of energy beams and missiles launched toward Earth. The shield flickered under the assault but held firm. Admiral Han checked his console. Shields holding at 96% power, Your Highness. Those Earth vessels are still approaching. 30 seconds until they're in weapons range. Prince Tay slammed his fist on his command chair. Target those ships, destroy them. The warship's defense systems came online, targeting the smaller Earth vessels, but the human ships moved with unexpected speed and skill, dodging the Imperial weapons fire. Science Officer Su looked more worried by the second. Your Highness, these pilots, their maneuvers match Imperial combat patterns. They fly as if they were trained in our academies. In her fighter, Major Kim led the first attack run. Her squadron of 12 ships flew in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight. She spoke calmly into her headset. All pilots, remember your training. Target their secondary weapon systems first. Avoid their main guns. Execute Pattern Alpha. The Earthships suddenly split into smaller groups, attacking the Imperial vessel from multiple angles. They fired precise beams at specific points on the massive ship's hull. On the Imperial bridge, alarms blared. Secondary weapons ports 3 through 17 are offline, shouted an officer. How? Demanded Prince Tay. Our shield should stop their weapons. Science Officer Sue stared at his readings. Your Highness, something is interfering with our shield harmonics. They're using a quantum disruptor. In her satellite control room, Yuna monitored the quantum disruptor with intense focus. The device hummed with power, sending invisible waves toward the Imperial ship. On her screen, she could see sections of the enemy's shields flickering and failing. Disruptor, functioning at full capacity, she reported to her mother. I'm targeting their starboard weapon arrays now. Dr. G nodded, watching the battle unfold on the main screen. Major Kim, focus your attack on the weakened sections. Copy that, came Major Kim's reply. The Earth fighters swarmed around the enormous warship like bees attacking a bear. Where the quantum disruptor weakened the shields, they fired with precision, disabling weapons and communication arrays. Prince Tay watched in growing horror as his mighty warship, designed to conquer entire planets, was being systematically disabled by a fleet of smaller vessels. This is impossible, he whispered. How do they have this technology? How do they know our shield frequencies? Admiral Han checked the damage reports. We've lost 40% of our weapon systems. Communication relays are damaged. They're targeting our engines next. Communications Officer Mina listened to the chatter from the Earthships. Your Highness, their communications, they're using Imperial tactical codes, modified but recognizable. Prince Tay turned to her, his eyes wide. What are you saying? They've studied us, Mina said quietly. They know our technology, our tactics, our weaknesses. But how? When? Prince Tay demanded. Science Officer Sue looked up from his console. The scout ship, the one we lost in this system 30 years ago, they must have recovered it. Prince Tay's face darkened. One small scout ship couldn't give them all this knowledge. Unless, Admiral Han said slowly, they already had some understanding of our technology. Unless they were more advanced than our intelligence suggested. Major Kim's squadron completed another attack run, disabling more of the warships, weapons. Her ship shook as it absorbed a glancing hit from an Imperial defense beam. Shields at 72%, reported her onboard computer. Minor damage to left wing. I'm fine, she told Dr. G. We've disabled most of their offensive capabilities, moving to target their engine arrays now. In the command center, Colonel Sung stood beside Dr. G. Our casualties? 2 ships damaged, no losses, she replied. The quantum disruptor is working better than expected. Colonel Sung nodded. It's time for Phase 3. Shall I deploy the boarding teams? Yes, Dr. G said. As soon as the engines are disabled, we need that ship intact. On the Imperial warship, chaos was spreading. Several decks had lost power, and damage reports came in from all sections. Your Highness, Admiral Han said urgently, I recommend immediate retreat. We can jump to hyperspace and return with a full battle fleet. Prince Tay hesitated. Retreat meant disgrace. The Emperor would see it as failure, but staying might mean destruction. Before he could decide, the ship rocked violently. Direct hit to our main engine array, Science Officer Sue reported. Hyperspace generators are offline. Prince Tay stared at the view screen in disbelief. The Earthships continued their precise attacks, systematically disabling his vessel without destroying it. This wasn't random. They wanted the ship intact. They're planning to board us, he realized aloud. Prepare all troops for internal defense. Seal the command deck. Communications Officer Mina watched the prince with growing concern. She had joined the Imperial fleet believing they brought order and progress to primitive worlds. But this world was clearly not primitive. And the Empire's order was starting to look like simple conquest. Major Kim's fighter led another attack, run targeting the final engine section. Her weapons found their mark and the massive warship's last propulsion system went dark. "Target neutralized," she reported. "The vessel is dead in orbit." In the command center, Dr. G nodded with satisfaction. "Well done, Major. Return to formation and provide cover for the boarding shuttles." Colonel Sung gestured to a group of soldiers in advanced armor. "Team 1, prepare for boarding. Your objective is to secure the engine room and primary computer. Core, Team 2 will locate and capture key officers." The soldiers, a mix of men and women from various nations, checked their weapons. These weren't standard military issue but special designs based on Imperial technology, modified to stun rather than kill. "Remember," Colonel Sung told them, "we want prisoners and information, not a massacre. These aliens may become our neighbors in the galactic community." The soldiers nodded. They had trained for this moment for years, running countless simulations based on the scout ship's layout. Prince Tay watched the Earth-boarding shuttles approach on the few remaining functional monitors. His mighty warship, pride of the Imperial, fleet hung dead in space, most systems offline or damaged. How could this happen? He asked no one in particular. How could a primitive world defeat the Empire's best warship in less than an hour? Admiral Han stood at attention, his face grim. "Your Highness, we should consider destroying the ship. If they capture our technology—" "They already have our technology," Prince Tay interrupted. "That much is clear." He turned to communications. "Officer Mina, send a message to the Imperial fleet. Tell them—" He paused, then straightened his back. "Tell them we encountered unexpected resistance and request immediate reinforcements." Mina hesitated. "The communications array is damaged, Your Highness. We cannot send long-range messages." Prince Tay's shoulders slumped slightly. Then he straightened. Again. "Prepare for boarders. We will show these humans the courage of Imperial warriors." As soldiers rushed to defensive positions throughout the ship, Communications Officer Mina made a decision. When no one was looking, she downloaded critical files to a small data device and slipped it into her pocket. Information about the Empire's weaknesses, its politics, its true history. Information that might help Earth survive what was coming next. Because Mina knew something Prince Tay didn't want to admit. This wasn't the end of the conflict. It was just the beginning. The boarding shuttles from Earth attached to the celestial dominance like remoras on a shark. Their magnetic clamps locked onto the hull, and cutting tools burned through the outer layers. Colonel Sung led the first team, dressed in armor that looked similar to Imperial designs but with human modifications. His helmet displayed the ship's layout, taken from the scout ship data. "Breach complete," reported one of his soldiers. "Atmosphere stable." Colonel Sung nodded. "Move in. Remember your training." 20 soldiers entered the Imperial warship through the freshly cut opening. They moved with practiced precision, securing the corridor with non-lethal weapons ready. "Team 2, enter through the secondary breach," Colonel Sung ordered through his headset. "Move toward the engine room. Team 3, head for the command deck." In the Earth Command Center, Dr. G watched the operation through cameras mounted on the soldiers' helmets. The feed showed the inside of the Imperial ship, corridors with high ceilings, strange writing on the walls, and lighting that pulsed with a blue glow. "Remarkable," she said softly. "It matches our simulations almost exactly." Her daughter Yuna had joined her, the quantum disruptor now on automatic mode. "The scout ship's database was more complete than we expected," she said. On the screens, they could see the boarding teams moving deeper into the ship. Occasionally, they encountered Imperial soldiers. Brief exchanges of weapons fire followed, but the Earth weapons, designed to disrupt neural pathways temporarily, quickly subdued the aliens without killing them. On the command deck, Prince Tay listened to reports of the human boarding parties, with growing anger. "They're moving through our defenses too easily," he said. "How do they know our ship so well?" Admiral Han checked the security feeds. "They're using non-lethal weapons. They want prisoners, not casualties." "Why? What do they want from us?" Prince Tay demanded. "Information, most likely," said Science Officer Su. And our technology. Prince Tay laughed bitterly. They already have our technology. That much is clear. He turned to Admiral Han. Prepare the self-destruct sequence. If we cannot save this ship, we will deny it to these primitives. Admiral Han bowed. Yes, Your Highness. He moved to a secured console and began entering codes. Communications Officer Mina watched with growing alarm. A self-destruct on a ship this size would not only kill everyone aboard, but could cause massive damage to Earth below. She had to do something. Colonel Sung's team moved through the ship's corridors, encountering scattered resistance. Most Imperial soldiers surrendered quickly when they realized their weapons had little effect against the Earth armor. This is too easy, said one of the soldiers, a woman named Captain Lee. They're letting us in. Colonel Sung frowned behind his helmet. Or they're concentrating their defense elsewhere, or preparing something worse. He checked his scanner. We're approaching a major power core. Be alert. As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with a different type of Imperial soldier, larger, with more advanced armor and weapons. Elite guards, Colonel Sung warned. Fall back to defensive positions. The Imperial elite guards opened fire. Their weapons were stronger, capable of damaging the Earth armor. 2 human soldiers fell back, their armor smoking. Colonel Sung took cover behind a bulkhead. Dr. G, we've encountered heavy resistance near Section 17B. Elite guards with enhanced weapons. Understood, Dr. G replied. Team 3 is approaching your position from the rear. Hold your ground. The firefight intensified. The humans used tactical maneuvers they had practiced for years, but the Imperial elite guards were well trained too. It was a stalemate until a voice called out from behind the Imperial lines. Wait, don't shoot. I want to help you. Both sides paused in surprise. Communications Officer Mina stepped out from behind the elite guards, her hands raised. The prince has ordered the ship's self-destruct, she said quickly. We have less than 15 minutes before it detonates. I can help you stop it. Colonel Sung kept his weapon ready. Why would you help us? Because I don't believe in unnecessary death, Mina replied. And because what we're doing here is wrong. This isn't a primitive world that needs Imperial guidance. You've proven that. Colonel Sung made a quick decision. Team 3, escort this officer to our shuttle. Team 1, continue with me. We need to reach that command deck. In the Earth Command Center, Dr. G interrogated Mina via video link. How do we stop the self-destruct? She asked. Mina explained quickly. You need the Royal Command codes. Only Prince Tay can cancel it once initiated. But there's another way. If you can reach the main computer core and physically disconnect the primary and secondary initiators, it will abort the sequence. Where is this computer core? Mina brought up a map on a data pad she carried. Here, 3 levels below the command deck. But it will be heavily guarded, Dr. G thought quickly. Colonel Sung, change of plans. Take your team to the computer core. Team 3 will continue to the command deck. Understood, Colonel Sung replied, already changing direction. Dr. G turned back to Mina. What else should we know about this ship? Mina hesitated, then seemed to make a decision. I downloaded critical information before the attack. She pulled out the small data device. This contains Imperial star charts, fleet deployments, and, she paused, historical records that may interest you. Historical records? Dr. G asked. Yes. About Earth. This isn't the first time the Empire has visited your world. Prince Tay watched the countdown on the main screen. 12 minutes until self-destruct. He felt a strange calmness now. Better to die in the explosion than face the Emperor's wrath for losing such a valuable ship. Your Highness, Admiral Han said urgently. Our security feeds show the humans are heading for the computer core. They may be trying to stop the self-destruct. They won't succeed, Prince Tay replied confidently. The elite guards will stop them. But even as he spoke, the ship's internal sensors showed the humans advancing quickly, using tactics that seemed specifically designed to counter Imperial defenses. This is impossible, Admiral Han whispered. How could they know our protocol so well? Science Officer Su, who had been analyzing data throughout the battle, looked up from his console. Your Highness, I believe I've found something in our historical database that might explain the situation. What is it? Prince Tay asked impatiently. According to these records, Earth, or Sol 3 as it was designated, was briefly colonized by the Empire over 5,000 years ago during the first expansion. Prince Tay stared at him. That's impossible, there's no record of... The records were classified, Su interrupted, then quickly added, Forgive me, Your Highness, but according to this data, the colony was abandoned during the Great Imperial Civil War. The colonists were left behind. Are you suggesting these humans are descendants of our people? Admiral Han asked, incredulous. Not exactly, Su replied, but they may have retained some knowledge, some genetic memory that allowed them to advance more quickly once exposed to our technology again. It would explain their seemingly impossible adaptation to our systems. Before Prince Tay could respond, the ship rocked violently. They've reached the computer core, an officer reported. They're attempting to disable the self-destruct. Prince Tay's face hardened. Seal the command deck. If we cannot save the ship, we will at least take these humans with us when it explodes. The massive doors to the command deck slid shut and locked. Prince Tay stood tall, prepared to die with dignity as befitted imperial royalty. But he had underestimated human determination once again. 8 minutes remained until the self-destruct sequence would complete. Inside the computer core, Colonel Sung and his team worked frantically to disable the systems based on Mina's instructions. Cut the blue power coupling first, Mina directed, through their communication link. Then disconnect the 3 red nodes simultaneously. Captain Lee and 2 other soldiers positioned themselves at the red nodes. Colonel Sung carefully severed the blue power coupling with a specialized cutting tool. Ready on the red nodes, Captain Lee reported. On your mark. 3, 2, 1 now, Colonel Sung ordered. The 3 soldiers cut the red nodes at the same time. Lights flickered throughout the room. The countdown on their displays froze at 7 minutes and 12 seconds. Did it work? Colonel Sung asked. There was a pause as Mina checked readings from her position in the Earth shuttle. No, she finally said. The self-destruct has a tertiary backup. It's still counting down, but internally now. We need to get to the command deck. Colonel Sung relayed this to Dr. G. The command deck is sealed. We need another way in. In the command center, Dr. G turned to Yuna. Can you use the quantum disruptor to target internal systems? Yuna shook her head. Not precisely enough to affect internal doors without risking damage to life support. Dr. G thought quickly. Colonel, there's another way. The maintenance shafts. According to the scout ship schematics, they run alongside the main corridors and connect to all major sections, including the command deck. Understood, Colonel Sung replied. Team 1, follow me. On the command deck, Prince Tay waited for the end with cold dignity. Around him, his officers manned their stations, some looking resigned, others afraid. How much longer? He asked. Admiral. Han checked the internal display. 6 minutes, Your Highness. Science Officer Su continued to read through the classified historical files he had discovered. Your Highness, there's more about Earth's history with the Empire. According to these records, the colonists left here were considered a failed experiment. They were expected to die out without Imperial support. Obviously they didn't, Prince Tay said dryly. No, Su agreed. Instead they thrived, and there's something else. He looked up, his expression troubled. The records suggest they were genetically modified before being abandoned. Enhanced intelligence, adaptability, problem-solving. The Empire was playing with forbidden sciences back then. Admiral Han looked shocked. Are you suggesting these humans are superior stock? Su finished. At least in some ways. The modifications were designed to help them survive on their own. Prince Tay laughed bitterly. So the Empire created its own enemy. A sudden noise from above caught their attention. A ceiling panel moved, then fell to the floor with a clang. Before anyone could react, small devices dropped into the room and released a cloud of gas. Imperial officers reached for weapons but collapsed within seconds. Only Prince Tay remained standing, protected by his personal Shield. Colonel Sung dropped from the ceiling opening, followed by his team. They surrounded Prince Tay, weapons ready. Surrender, Prince, Colonel Sung said firmly. Tell us how to stop the self-destruct. Prince Tay sneered. Never. I would rather die than be captured by primitives. We're not primitives, Colonel Sung replied calmly, as your own records show. We're the Empire's forgotten children, and we've outgrown our parent. Before Prince Tay could respond, a new voice joined the conversation over the communication system. Prince Tay, Dr. G said. I don't believe you. Want to die today? No one needs to. Stop the self-destruct. Why should I? Prince Tay demanded. Because this could be the beginning of something new. Not conquest, but cooperation. Prince Tay hesitated. He looked around at the fallen forms of his officers, at the human soldiers who had so efficiently taken his ship. The countdown showed 4 minutes remaining. Admiral Han, fighting the effects of the gas, raised his head. Your Highness? He gasped. The Emperor will send more ships. This is just one battle. Prince Tay knew this was true. But he also knew that if these humans could defeat his warship so easily, they might well defeat others. And he had no desire to die pointlessly. With a resigned sigh, he stepped to the main console and placed his hand on a scanner. Royal override, he said clearly. Authorization Tay Epsilon 97. Cancel self-destruct. The countdown froze, then disappeared from all screens. A mechanical voice announced, Self-destruct sequence aborted. Colonel Sung lowered his weapon slightly. A wise decision, Prince. 3 days later, Prince Tay sat in a comfortable but secure room in the underground facility beneath Seoul. Dr. G entered carrying a datapad. I trust you've been treated well? She asked. Prince Tay nodded stiffly. Well enough for a prisoner. Not a prisoner, Dr. G corrected. A guest with limited freedom until we establish trust. She sat across from him and placed the datapad on the table between them. We've been studying the information Officer Mina provided. Fascinating reading. She's a traitor, Prince Tay said without heat. She's a person of conscience, Dr. G replied. Like many in your empire, I suspect. Prince Tay said nothing to this. After a moment, he asked, What happens now? The Empire will notice my absence eventually. Yes, Dr. G agreed. Which is why we hope to establish diplomatic relations before that happens, with your help. Prince Tay laughed. You want me to betray the Empire? No. We want you to help the Empire evolve. Dr. G leaned forward. The records Mina provided show increasing instability in the imperial government, resource shortages, rebellions, the very things that drive your conquest missions. And you think you can help? Prince Tay asked skeptically. We know we can. Your empire has reached the limits of conquest as a means of growth. Earth can offer alternatives. She showed him images on the datapad, technological innovations, sustainable energy systems, social structures that the Empire had never considered. Your ancestors may have given us a genetic head start, Dr. G said. But we've taken it in directions they never imagined. Not just technology, but cooperation, unity despite differences. Prince Tay studied the images thoughtfully. The Emperor would never accept help from a lesser world. Then don't tell him we're lesser, Dr. G suggested. Tell him you've discovered the lost colony, the successful experiment, the missing piece of the Imperial puzzle. 1 week later, in a massive hangar built to house the captured Imperial warship, Earth's leaders gathered with the ship's surviving crew. The warship had been repaired, its weapon systems modified, its Imperial markings replaced with a new symbol, a blue and green Earth embraced by stars. Colonel Sung stood with Major Kim and the other pilots who had helped capture the ship. Dr. G and Yuna supervised technicians making final adjustments to the engines. And beside them, somewhat to everyone's surprise, stood Prince Tay. The prince had spent days reviewing Earth's history, its technologies, its potential. He had spoken at length with Mina about the problems facing the Empire, and slowly, his perspective had changed. Are you certain about this? Dr. G asked him. Prince Tay nodded. The Empire is dying. It needs new ideas, new approaches. Earth offers those. He looked at the ship, now renamed Terrestrial Dawn. Besides, I've always wanted to make history. Dr. G smiled. You already have. This is the first time the Empire has been defeated by a primitive world. And the first time an Imperial Prince has chosen cooperation over conquest, Prince Tay added. My father will be furious. But he'll listen, Mina said confidently. When he sees what Earth has to offer, as they boarded the ship, a mixed crew of humans and Imperial officers willing to take a chance on something new. Yuna approached Dr. G. Do you think this will work, Mother? Will the Empire accept us? Dr. G watched as Prince Tay took his place on the command deck, now as an equal rather than a ruler. They'll have to, she said. We've proven we can't be conquered. Now we'll show them we can be valuable allies instead. The massive hangar doors opened to reveal the stars. The terrestrial dawn rose slowly, then faster, its engines glowing with power. Earth's first diplomatic mission to the stars had begun, and in the vastness of space, humans would once again surprise those who had underestimated them.